given all those stocks you mentioned down, and SMH, which is 19% NVIDIA, which was lower on the day, was higher on the day. And that continues to sort of levitate through those prior double tops. So it is a very encouraging sign. I'm not going to dismiss it at all. Again, we play the game if I had told you. If you had told me all the things you just said, Guy, where's the S&P going to be? Down 40 handles. Easy. Obviously, that didn't happen. And we saw a couple days last week that sort of mirrored today. So encouraging sign. But again, I'm skeptical as to all the bad news we continue to hear that's being dismissed. At what point does it matter?
I'm glad you brought up the SMH because it was just basically NVIDIA that pulled back. AMD higher, Broadcom higher. Your Intel higher.
My Intel.
Yeah, doing really well.
Well, there was comments out of the government, talking about the invest in our own semiconductor sector. There's a lot of money that's going to be thrown at companies, especially those that are seen as national champions here. Intel, which really hasn't been a champion of anything for the last 5 years, but it really, from a stock perspective, it's under-owned. And the valuation is very different than some of the peers. And in their core business and in data center, they're starting to, we found a bottom. What I think is interesting is that, yes, you are seeing some broadening of the market. It didn't happen when the market bottomed on October 26th, 27th. It bottomed on the CPI November 13th. So if you look at the equal weighted S&P, it's only outperformed by 3%. Let's not get too worked up, but it is important. And we have seen some other, I would say some sectors have done better than others, even in the more equal weighted. I think industrials have done very well. Banks have obviously done very well. Energy has underperformed, and some of that related to some of the macro. But I would get back to, let's be clear, triple Qs or NASDAQ 100 outperformed the S&P today, and the semiconductors are up 2.4. So I would just get back to, if you look at a relative performance chart of the NASDAQ 100 to the S&P, look, that's an uptrend. That's a really nice chart from August. And if you look at where semiconductors are going, I still think that they have leadership. For the Mag 7, maybe it was slightly different. It was, today was not a great day. Look at software. Look at some broader parts of the tech sphere really outperforming. And in fact, I think some of these names are underlooked. You look at a CrowdStrike, you look at a Snowflake. Guy talks all the time about Palo Alto. I mean, some of these names have been must-owns, and they're still going higher.
If we get through, obviously, CPI tomorrow, Fed meeting on Wednesday, and it's just benign, it is. I mean, white flag here, like we're off to the races. I mean, like when I say off to the races, I mean, we're going back towards that 4,800. That's just how these markets work, right? And we're at this time of year where there really won't be any data unless there's something that we can't foresee, maybe geopolitical or the like here. And then you just have to kind of make a decision here, right? Like the stuff that got us here, it's rotation right now. I look at that equal weight S&P up 14% from the October 27 low, and I look at the S&P that's up 12.5%. I don't think that's really speaking to a level of breadth that's that important. I think when you look at the SMH making new all-time highs today, to your point, up nearly 2.5%, with NVIDIA down 2%, that is impressive when you think 1/5 of that index or ETF is that one stock. But again, Broadcom, I mean, you could have had all you wanted 2 days ago, down 15% from where it is right now. They gave a quarter. They gave the guidance. The stock wasn't moving. We're sitting here on the desk. That was the same thing that went on with AMD. But it's funny, like sometimes in markets, people get a little geeked up for all the wrong reasons. At the time when Google or Alphabet was demonstrating this Gemini, right? And it was starting to come out, and it was just not doing anything. And the next day, it was up 5-6%. This is a $1.5 trillion market cap company. And everything that I've read over the last 5 days since that move is not good for Alphabet and Gemini, like relative to what OpenAI is doing, relative to their own execution. And so, it just, to me, means that investors want to do the things that they know how to do. They know how to buy dips. They know that rates are down, the dollar's down, crude's down, inflation expectations are down, right? And it seems like, I'm going to just trigger Guy here, it seems like a Goldilocks situation for this moment right now, given where investors are. But I don't think it has to last that way as we get into Q1.